I remember we brought you visuals from Thiruvananthapuram of the F-35 fighter jet being moved. This is the British fighter jet that was stranded in Thiruvananthapuram for over 3 weeks now. And this is the first time that it's been moved since it landed there in Thiruvananthapuram. Remember, there was a fuel emergency after which it had landed there. And there was deliberation as to exactly what exactly would be done with this fighter jet. There was speculation over whether it was going to be dismantled and then moved from there. As of this morning, there was a 17-member team that had arrived in Thiruvananthapuram and had assessed the fighter jet, and now it's being towed, it's being moved is what we're learning. We'll of course get you more details as to what we can expect next. The technical team had arrived this morning to assess the F-35 jet. Remember earlier we had been reporting about how the jet was the subject of memes online as well. My colleague Shiv Arur joins us with more details. Shiv, now this particular fighter jet is being moved, the first time that it's been moved since it landed there in Thiruvananthapuram. What can we expect next?
It's still going to prove to be a bit of a challenge. Now, remember that for an aircraft like the F-35 to sit on the ground for 22 days and counting is definitely not normal. Even if you accept the fact that military aviation is a complicated business, things can go wrong. Aircraft, being on ground or being grounded because of technical issues is certainly not uncommon. But for 3 weeks and counting, a very, very advanced aircraft like an F-35 just sitting there on the ground, almost without any real help and unable to do very much, has made headlines around the world. But what the Royal Navy and the Royal Air Force are attempting to do right now is to, give it that one final sort of push. That's the reason why you've got a very highly qualified engineering crew that has landed. They've arrived from, I'm assuming from the United Kingdom, but it could be from elsewhere. And the British High Commission, in a statement that NDTV has a copy of, has confirmed that an attempt is being made now to move the aircraft, which we saw in those live pictures, using specialized equipment to a maintenance and repair hangar where the aircraft will be serviced, as it were, looked at more closely by the specialized crew. Many of our viewers might have a question over whether repairing such aircraft can't be done, using Indian equipment and Indian engineers. The answer to that question is not really, because this is a fifth-generation stealth fighter of the kind that India does not operate. There are many pieces of specialized equipment that are applicable in the case of aircraft like the F-35, including ground handling equipment. And that's one of the reasons why it could perhaps not be moved so far, even though there are other concerns and restrictions as far as handling such aircraft is concerned. Now, the British government, the British High Commission, the Royal Navy have all acknowledged India's cooperation, coordination and facilitation at the Thiruvananthapuram airport so far. So there is no shortage of help being offered from the Indian side. But there are various concentric circles around the aircraft which are invisible. There are diplomatic issues. There are security issues over the secrecy of technology. There are various bilateral issues between the countries over handling of such technology. There are restrictions that the United States imposes on the United Kingdom as far as who can inspect or touch these aircraft, because these are highly classified pieces of machinery that go into the making of an F-35, and therefore it is there are all these sort of colliding contradictions and challenges that have resulted in this aircraft being on the ground for 22 days and counting. But now with that aircraft moving into a maintenance hangar, clearly the situation is a bit out of hand, because 22 days is abnormal, it's uncommon. This is something that has made the Royal Navy look like it isn't really in control of the destiny of that aircraft, as it were. And I don't wish to use a harsh word like that, but 3 weeks and counting has made the Royal Navy and those handling the aircraft a bit of a laughing stock in aviation circles, where people can be very brutal about these things. But this is a serious issue. There's no laughing matter. Engineering defects and technical issues with an aircraft that is as complicated as the F-35 can assume such difficult proportions where an aircraft can be on ground for 3 weeks and running. But hopefully at this point of time, with that engineering crew arriving from the UK on that Airbus A400M aircraft, the equipment, the know-how, the engineering sort of knowledge is now finally at that airport and will be able to get that aircraft going. The good news, of course, is that the aircraft is already moving. For the first time in 3 weeks, the aircraft is literally moving on the ground. But the obvious challenge is to get it back up in the air, which is what needs to happen for it to actually return home, either to its aircraft carrier or back to the United Kingdom. For that to happen is going to be a much larger challenge, and we will only know once that aircraft enters the hangar and the engineers have had a closer look as to what exactly has afflicted the aircraft, forcing it to be on the ground for so long. 3 weeks and counting, engineering issues, hydraulic failure, possibility of some kind of issues with the lift fan. There's a lift fan in this aircraft which allows it to take off and land vertically, making it a very specialized kind of jump jet. There are other possible issues, in the equipment that may have resulted in this grounding that is much more of a serious nature. So I'm hopeful that maybe in the next couple of days there will be clarity on whether the aircraft can fly out on its own power or whether it needs a ride.